Hi everyone, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. This is me, your guest Say Concept, and I want to say a massive thank you for tuning in wherever you are all over the world. Thank you so much, and I really want to appreciate you guys for your support toward this channel. Thank you. May God bless you all. So today, without wasting much of our time, I shall be showing you how to make this a masterpiece on your screen, and this is called zipper. So in today's tutorial, in my own humble way and in my own understanding, I'll be showing you how to fix it on a dress. And once you get this particular method, you are good to go. Okay? So I will implore you to sit back and watch to the end. Thank you. First and foremost, this is the fabric I will be attaching the zipper to, because I assume this is my dress. You might be wondering why I like this color, because it's sharp. Right. So the first thing I always consider before attaching my zip is I always make sure I've turned the neckline with lining. Okay, so with this I won't have problem. Or if your own method is attaching the zipper before lining, you leave half an inch on the neckline. Okay, take note of that. Now the next step now is to determine the length of my zipper. The length of my zipper here is 22 inches. Okay, you can use further than that. Okay, we have 24 as well, but for this tutorial I'll be using 22 inches. So that 22 inches, I will now take away 1 inch. Okay, I will take away 1 inch from that 22, then I'll be left with 21 inches. So from my neckline, because I've turned it, I assume I've turned it in with lining now. So from the neckline, I will measure out 21 inches. This is it. So from where the 21 inches stitch, you run it down to where the skirt slit is going to stop, or where you want the skirt slit to stop. Okay, and another thing I always do is always make sure that I haven't joined the dress, able to have a free movement for the back piece alone. The next thing I will be doing here is open the zipper allowance apart, and as you can see, there's a line here. This line is to show me the allowance I have here. You can as well use your iron to do that. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, I use a chalk so that you'll be able to see it very well. Now, from the allowance now I've measured, I will now take my zipper. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. So the right side of the zipper facing the right side of my dress, like this, with the side towards me. You see, this side is the side towards me, like this. This is it. Like I said, if your own method is attaching it before lining, you leave half an inch on this upper part. Good. And place it on the line like this and pin it. So after pinning it, this is how it's going to look now. You see? Right. So the next thing we are going to do now is to determine where we are going to stitch. Where are we going to stitch? Is it the side towards me or the other side? So where we are going to stitch now is the other side. That is the right side here. Okay, so I will take it to the sewing machine, and there's a line. If you look closely on the zipper, on the back of the zipper, there's a plain straight line. Okay, that is where you run your stitch. Okay, with this you'll be able to have a straight line. So guys, okay, before we proceed to the sewing machine, I forgot to tell you my zipper allowance is 1.5 inches. Yours could be 2 inches or 1 inch. Okay, so this is how we are going to place it on the machine, because you might not be able to get it very well. Remember, I placed the right side of the zipper facing the right side of the dress. This is it. And I place it on the line I drew. Okay, right. So after that, when you want to stitch it, you place the wrong side of the dress. You place it on your sewing machine and run your stitch. You run it closely to the line I told you about, okay? If you look closely well to your zipper, there's a thin line there, plain line. That is where your stitch will go through. With this, you'll be able to have a straight stitch, okay? Good. So I'll go ahead now and stitch it, and I will take you guys along with me. See, this is the type of footer I always use. I like it so much because it works perfectly whenever I'm fixing a zip. There's it. And if you don't have, don't be scared, okay? With this method I've shown you, you'll be able to stitch it. Just follow, look closely, you will see a line. Okay, behind the zip you see a line. Just follow that. Go ahead now and place it under the footer. The footer will be on the center of the zipper now. While I release my needle down the line I told you about. Slow and steady, don't rush. So from this starting point, you can come down a bit, like half an inch. Okay, don't bother. When we are done, we will fix it. Okay. Stitching it now, this is it, very straight line, and this is the right side. Okay, so on this upper parts, what we are going to do is zip it down, then you take it, you place it on it again. Okay, after placing, this how it's going to look. You place it like this, then you go to your sewing machine again and finish it up. So this is it now. You see how it's looking now. So I'll go ahead and do the other side, but I'll be showing you how you're going to do stitching the first one. This side is going to look now. This is the right side of the dress. Okay, can you see any stitch there? No, there's no stitch there. Okay, so to do the other side of it, all you have to do, same thing we did on the first side, same process. Okay, you spread it out. So this is the right side of the dress now. You now take it, you flip the first one we have done, you flip it to the other side. So you bring out the zipper allowance. Okay, so you now take the zipper, you place it on the rule line or the creeps you have made. You place it, okay, you place it because that will serve as the center of the zipper allowance. So while doing so, you secure it with your pin. Right, after securing it with the pin now, this is how it's going to look. Okay, one thing you always remember is the zipper, the right side of zipper is facing the right side of the dress. Okay, and this is it, exactly what we did on the first one. And you take your stitch from the line I told you about, you run it straight down. So when you get to this part, the end here, don't stitch across like this. Okay, you do that, it will look professional. So you just back stitch. When you get here, you back stitch. Okay, don't stitch across like this. When you get to the last part here, you back stitch. Okay, then you are done with your zipper. So on this upper part where you are done, you open it up and here you stitch. You zip it down and while you stitch it up. Okay, that is it. It's very simple, very, very simple. With this method, you have a perfect zipper. Let's move on to the sewing machine now and stitch it up. Zipper allowance only. Okay, as you can see. So I'll place it here the same way we did when we started. you leave a gap.
Don't rush, it's a little crush. Don't need to worry about it. Don't need to figure it out. Don't rush.
Same thing we did on this part. Okay, you zip it down, then you flip it like this. You run the stitch. We are done now. Zip it back again. Why these two edges, these pointing edges? Okay, like I said, if your own method is fixing the zip before turning the neckline, you leave half an inch. So what you are going to do on this part with these two pointed edges, you trim it off. Okay, you trim it off like 3/4 out of it. Then when you want to turn your neckline, the rest will go with the neckline. Just trim it off and leave half an inch. Okay, rhyme to the neckline. Okay, so but for me, because I've turned my neckline, what I normally do is I open this part like this, then flip the edge in like this. Okay, make sure you tuck it in very well. Then I flip back again and top stitch and stitch it down. Okay, I will just pin it for you to see the look. So this is how it's going to look after stitching it, and this is the back. Okay, so same thing here. I will open it like this. Okay, this is the zipper allowance. You flip it in, while you use this to cover it and stitch it, run your stitch on it. So this is how it's going to look after. This is the back and this is the front. Okay, so let me go and show you the whole of the zip before we this is the inside. As you can see here, I didn't run my stitch here. This is the outside. Okay, this is it. This is it. I didn't run anything there because that 1 inch we took away, that will help the zip to stay firm. You see, and another thing I always do after, when you run the first stitch, okay, you go ahead and run the second stitch on the same stitch. Okay, with this you have your zipper intact. So you run your stitch again for the second time, you run it round the edges. So that's it for our zipper today. Don't forget to like this video, please. The little God has given unto us, let's share it with our fellow men. And with this, the more you like the videos, the more we do more. Press the red subscribe button down below straight away. Just give it to me. I'm your girl. Yeah, give it to me. That's it. Looking pink. Right, thank you guys.